It is Friday, December the 16th, 2022. Good morning. I'm Pearson Bowen. This is the CBC Morning Report. Barbadians have joined millions around the world in shopping online for Christmas. The internet has allowed for local stores to face international competition for buyers, and they've had to change some marketing strategies. However, many people are still failing to recognize the power of social media and the economic stimulation which it generates in a country. Social media specialist Randy Griffith of RBA Marketing Agency has been speaking with CBC News about the business side and general appeal of social media.
One of the things that isn't recognized is the power of social media generally. Like, some people will say, like, oh yeah, social media is powerful, but it is one of the most greatest advancements of technology. Now, is it necessary? Is it going to have a healthy impact on the culture? Probably not, right? But economically wise, you can't discount the great marketing aspect of it, because if we live in the information age, what's important is where you place that information, or more importantly, or the best way to say it, is where the attention lies. The truth of the matter is, the marketing aspect of it, it will gain new people. It's just, you have to be very particular. You can't just like try to get every single person. You have to
understand the algorithm.
Yeah, not only understand the algorithm, but understand your target audience, understand who you are actually catering towards. Because when you ask a person a question like, hey, so who's your audience? Everybody's my audience. And it's like, no, they're not. Not everyone is your audience. Your audience is a particular person, right? A particular person that likes your particular thing. So I think it is very important. I think that there's definitely money to be made from it. I think it is a very important aspect of any business currently. A business without a website, without a social media presence is essentially operating in the past. All right, it is almost like you're using Flintstone vehicles when people are using hoverboards. All right, you need a website, you need SEO, you need other aspects of the online presence.
Mr. Griffith said that social media informs about taste, choices and selections in things from clothing to food to where to buy novelty items.
The first thing anyone does when they are looking, say if I want to go out on a restaurant, the first thing I'm going to go and do is look at their social media page, see if the food looks appetizing, look at the menu, find out the price. I do tons of what I consider my due diligence before I even step outside, because I want to know exactly what I'm getting myself into. So I think that's just a normal aspect for anyone who is of a certain age. They use social media, they use the online environment to determine their choices. So even if you're going to buy a laptop, if you're going to buy anything, the regular people just don't walk in the stores and just buy things down there. They research about it for days on end before they make a decision, because they're very careful with their money about the limited amount they have in this economy.
Well, the pitfalls of online activity were also looked at, especially as it pertains to children and creating negative self-image.
Any 10-year-old with internet access and connection could see anything they want to see on the internet, all right? It's not hard for you to fool the age gating of the that these people place in their web apps and their platforms. The truth of the matter is, they know this, right? A 10-year-old knows that just scrolling the age in the year to like 1990, whatever, they will be able to pass that particular test. When it comes to the negatives of social media, they're tons, all right? It mainly impacts young girls more than boys, because it creates a negative perception of what the actual reality of someone's life is, because it's like basically curating the best aspects and best moments of everybody's life. And people are seeing just the best moments. They're not seeing when they're crying, not seeing when they're down. I mean, there'll be some of that on TikTok, but when you go on Instagram, when you go on Facebook, when you go on other social media platforms, people choose the best moments to highlight. And when they choose the best moments, people think, oh, well, my life clearly sucks because this person's always at a restaurant, this person's always traveling, this person's always doing this person has a perfect relationship with their boyfriend, because look, they're always hugging and kissing and smiling. All right, and it's been proven with tons of studies now, mostly in the bigger countries, where it says that the young girls are feeling insecure, they're having a lot of body issues because they're seeing all of the BBL women. This is Brazilian butt lift, all right? All the Photoshop ladies, they're seeing all these people and they realize they don't look like this, right? So they can't understand why there's such a disconnect, right? And as I said, everybody wants attention now, so they're thinking, hey, I want attention, so they post a picture. they don't get enough likes, and so they delete it and they post another one. And girls will take a thousand pictures in one night, and then they choose 2 to put up. All right, and it's creating a very insecure culture, a very look at me, all right, give me attention culture. And it is going to have a very negative impact on, especially with the social dynamics between male and female.
Coming up on the CBC Morning Report, the US to push for Africa to join the G20, and Russia bombs 2 more cities in Ukraine.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date.
President Joe Biden has announced support for the African Union joining the group of G20, a global forum for major economies, as the United States seeks to build stronger relations with African nations. Speaking at a U.S. Africa Leaders Summit event on Thursday, President Biden said African leadership and innovation were critical to addressing some of the world's most pressing challenges.
He's also announced billions of dollars in support and investment for Africa. Washington is keen to counter Chinese and Russian influence on the continent. President Biden says he plans to visit sub-Saharan Africa in what will be the first trip there by a U.S. president since 2015.
Africa belongs to the table in every room where global challenges are being discussed, and in every institution where discussions are taking place. That's why I announced in September at the United Nations General Assembly that the United States fully supports reforming the UN Security Council to include permanent representation for Africa. And today I'm also calling for the African Union to join the G20 as a permanent member of the G20.
So Shihab Rutansi joins me now from Washington. So the US has decided that it's ready now to re-engage with Africa, Shihab, but what do African governments make of this?
Well, for example, that G20 call that the African Union should have representation, it does in some ways draw attention to the fact that we had a G20 meeting a month ago in Bali, Indonesia, and Indonesia, China, France, South Africa were pushing then for the AU to have a seat at the table, but the US did nothing, and it just sort of fizzled out. So, you know, why did it take 4 weeks for that to happen? I mean, generally there is a skepticism about what the US is actually offering, and it was interesting that when the African Union chair spoke at that same meeting, he welcomed U.S. engagement, but he also took the opportunity to attack the U.S.'s sanctions on Zimbabwe. He called for the lifting of sanctions on Zimbabwe, and he spoke about a bill that's currently working its way through Congress, the Countering Malign Russian Activities in Africa Act, which is a very vaguely worded bill, which basically it defines malign activities as those that undermine U.S. objectives and interests, but would oblige the U.S. to put sanctions on other African countries, specifically African countries, if they're deemed somehow to be helping Russia's malign interests. I mean, clearly people aren't impressed by that either. But this is exactly the sort of debate that's been going on here, which is, look, when the US gets involved, they want to say about all of our sovereignty and our political geostrategic decisions, we have to fall in line with them. We don't have to do that with China. We don't have to do that with other nations. So, you know, I mean, is it really worth it, you know, to have to lose our sovereignty in order to do business with the US? I think that's the main theme that we keep on getting day after day.